Yo guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I watched Heads of State. Alright, so Heads of State is the newest Amazon Prime original movie starring John Cena as the United States President and Idris Elba as the Prime Minister of the UK. And I have to say, whenever I first heard about this movie and whenever I first heard of this idea like John Cena being the president, I was like, oh boy, it's going to be a bad action comedy. And well, it was action, it was a comedy. But it wasn't necessarily bad. Like, the moment this movie started and there's this startup in some kind of tomato throwing competition where a lot of shit goes down, and that opening scene tells you exactly what you want from this movie, starting from some kind of a comedic standpoint. I have to say the comedy in this movie really works throughout the entire thing. I absolutely loved every single piece and every single part of the comedy. I don't think there were a lot of jokes that didn't land for me. I have to say most of them did land. And that's because of the humor being that incredibly dumb. And that's absolutely my kind of humor. So I was having a blast with every single joke of this movie. There is a sequence where they are chasing a train on foot and they are seeing, oh, why are you so delocomotivated? I couldn't hold it anymore. Of course, after that came the derail joke as well, but the delocomotivated, that pun was so incredibly bad that I am very angry that I never thought of that myself, because as I work with trains on a daily basis, not as a train conductor, but I work as an actor in some kind of train thing. But you know, it's right there. And I never thought of it, and I was angry at myself. Like, the humor is so incredibly good and so incredibly funny, and I absolutely loved it. And it's not only puns, and it's not only that kind of bad humor, but it's also like a lot of humor considering Idris Elba and John Cena just hating each other's guts, trying to respect each other, having to work together, but not being able to work together, and both not being very good at their job at that point, and just those poles of negativity and positivity clashing in with each other works beautifully. And this movie was a blast just based on that humor alone. The action, the other part of an action comedy, was also really great. I thought the action fight sequences were filmed in a nice way, were filmed quite creatively, when they were also done quite creatively, and I have to say they looked fucking awesome. Like, there's this one scene on the Air Force One, loved it. There is a couple of scenes after that. There is a scene with Jack Quaid. I'm not going to tell you what happens in that scene, but might be one of my favorite scenes out of 2025 so far, periods. I absolutely loved that scene. So the action is also really good. It's thrilling, it's action-packed, it's tense, it's funny, it's nice, it looks well, it looks awesome. I was having an absolute blast with this movie. So is this, instead of the bad thing I expected this movie to be, is it going to be one of the best movies and a total 5-star? No. Because the story that they decided to tell, of course, it's an action comedy, so it doesn't have to hold a lot of bars high. They didn't hold a lot of bars high, as the story is incredibly cliche, and the story is quite bad because they follow the same tropes as any kinds of these movies, where you have this thing on a world-ending event, on a world event and NATO stuff. It's always the same story. And this one doesn't shy away from that. It leans into that, it makes it its own thing, but it's also just, again, that same shit. Again, that same boring story that we have seen countless times before. So if the humor and the action wasn't good, this movie would have nothing. I loved all the main characters, so I loved John Cena in this movie. I loved Idris Elba. I loved the Indian woman in this movie. I loved every single one in their respective roles, but the enemies, not so much. The enemies are mostly meat sacks. There's this one tech guy that's really interesting, and the main bad guy is not interesting at all. Like, he could be stolen out of the movie and I wouldn't even notice because of all the other mercenaries who were better in some capacity. And the best thing for them is just to be meat sacks and just to be thrown around, and there's nothing going on with them. So it's really only the humor and only the action that makes this movie work as good as possible, because the characters, other than our main trio, and the story is not really doing it for me, and it's not really doing it for a lot of people, I guess, because it's so incredibly cliche. But still, I was having an absolute blast with this one, and I thought this one is highly worth checking out because it's just incredibly fun. It's one of those movies you put on in an airplane, or you just put on a Friday night while you're trying to have fun and don't want to have your brain on. You just want to have a no-brain movie. This is perfect for that. I'm gonna give it 4 stars and a heart. I thought it was genius. What did you think of Heads of State? Please let me know in the comments down below because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye-bye.